This video is for the Algebra 1 Fall Final Exam Review. This is over pages 13 through 19. Problem 65 says the Aggie Bus the Aggie Bus 54 travels two different routes, the George Bush route and the Wellborn route. The routes are different lengths. On Monday, the bus traveled the George Bush 10 and Wellborn 7 for a total of 95 miles, and Tuesday, the George Bush route 7, Wellborn 4 for a total of 62. So for my two equations, I'm going to have a Monday equation and a Tuesday equation. I'm going to split them up by bullets. So on Monday, it went 10 George Bush plus 7 Wellborn, and that equals 95. And then it went 7 George Bush plus 4 Wellborn for a total of 62. Because my G's and W's are lined up, I can plug this into a matrix. Those steps are shown from here. So in our calculators, we type second, matrix, math, scroll up to B and click enter. Alpha zoom 2 by 3 enter. And then I need 10, arrow, 7, arrow, 95, arrow, 7, arrow, 4, arrow, 62, enter. I have the 1, 0, 0, 1, so I know this worked out nicely, and 6 and 5 as my solutions. So when I go back to my paper, I write 1, 0, 0, 1, 6, and 5. Now they are asking me about both routes, the George Bush and the Wellborn. We put them in G and then W, so they come out G and then W. So George Bush is 6, Wellborn is 5. 66 says a teacher ordered pizzas for a meeting after school. She can order cheese for 10 and pepperoni for 12, but cannot spend more than $1.15. Write it in inequality to represent the combinations of C cheese pizzas and P pepperoni pizzas. So money plus money equals money. Cheese are $10, and we're going to get $12 pepperoni pizzas. We don't know how many of each, so we use C for cheese and pepperoni. She cannot spend, so what she's spending money on the pizzas with has to be less than or equal to 115. So 10 cheese plus 12 pepperoni is less than or equal to 115. 67 asks us to identify the slope of the graph to the right. So we have this slope. What I can do is plug in these points. I have this point at 975 and this point up here at 1395. So I'm going to put these into stat edit, 9, 13, 75, and 95, and see what my slope is from the calculator. So in my calculator, I go to stat edit. I plug in 9, enter, 13, enter, and then my y's are 75 and 95. I click stat calc 4, enter, 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 and they ask me for the slope, which is 5. Alternatively, you could count, but you have to remember that you go up 10 over 4. Sorry, you go up 20. And then take 20 and divide it by 4. 68 says that David works in an ornament shop where he gets paid $75 for the week, but is charged $4 for every ornament he breaks. Which function best describes his weekly pay? W in relationship to the amount of ornaments R he breaks. So his weekly pay starts out at 75, but he gets charged or he loses $4 per ornament that he breaks. So that would be answer choice A. 69 asks us for the shaded region of the graph, or what inequality represents the graph above. So for this one, I'm going to start at 1. So my b value is 1. My slope, the next time I have a nice even point, is down here. So my slope goes down to the right 7. So my equation is negative 2/7 x plus 1, and y is greater than or equal to 1. It is a solid line underneath, so I can mark out C and D. Now from here, looking at A and B, both of them are in standard form, so I need to move x to the other side. So 2/7 x plus y is less than or equal to 1. Multiply everything by 7. 2/7 times 7 is 2. 7 times y, 7 times 1. So that would be answer choice B because it has the same inequality. Also remember, if you forget how to put them into standard form, you could take all of your answer choices and solve all of them for y and see which one matches. 70 says, or asks us, which of the following has the slope of -4 and goes through the point -3, 6? So we have our x1 and y1 as well as our slope. We can do a quick check and make sure the slope on all of these is -4. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can mark out from here. Point slope is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So my y's and my x's stay. My slope is -4, and be very careful. Minus your y point, minus your x point, minus is plus. The only one that has this is answer choice C. Problem 71 is asking us what has a slope of -3 and passes through the point 4, 6. So I'm going to plug into point slope because I have a point and a slope. So I plug in x1 and y1. X is 4, so it becomes the opposite. Y is 6, so it becomes the opposite. My slope stays the same. Now, none of my answer choices look like that. All of them are in standard form. So I need to get rid of my parentheses, -3 times x, -3 times -4. Move 6 to the other side. So y equals -3x plus 18. And then my last step is going to be to move the x to the other side. When I move x, it becomes a positive 3x. So I would have positive 3x, y was already positive, 18 was already positive, and that is answer choice C. 72, when you were given this review, your teacher should have asked you to change the answer choices on C and D, but if you did not, you need to change them now because none of them work out nicely. 72 asks us which describes a line with a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 4. So looking at a slope of 3 in our point slope, our slope goes in front of x, so B and D are out. And then when we plug in a y-intercept of -4 is the point 0, 4. So we plug in y minus 4 equals 3x minus 0. So, sorry, your teacher should have told you I did not write this down correctly. So C should be your right answer. You could also change this to be a 3, and then that would be your right answer as well. So whatever you do, just make sure you know how to get here. 73, we have a system being graphed below, and they ask which set is the system of equations that graphed that. Now, if you notice, we have graphing. In order to graph, we need these to be in y equals, and none of these are in y equals, which means we're going to have to solve 8 times for y equals. Now, a better idea would be to use your matrices because these are all set up x, x, y, y equals answer. X, x, y, y equals answer. All of them are set up like that. So it would be better to use RF on all of them and compare the solutions. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to set them all up first before I plug them in. 7, -4, -8, 4, -7, -28. 7, -4, +8, 4, negative 7, positive 28. 7, 4, 4, 7, negative 8, negative 28. Remember, with matrices, all you're doing is rewriting the letters without the numbers. Okay. Now I'm going to put all of these into my calculator and see what my correct answer is based on the solutions. So to plug in, I click second matrix math, scroll up to B, enter. Alpha zoom 2 by 3, enter. For the first one, I need 7, negative 4, negative 8, 4, negative 7, negative 28. And when I do that, I'm just going to round this. So in the calculator, my solution was 1.7, 4.97. I'm going to do that again 3 more times. Second matrix math B, alpha zoom 2 by 3. So we have 7, negative 4, positive 8, 4, negative 7, positive 28. And we get the solution negative 1.7, negative 4.97. Now with A, I didn't put it on here because I can't quite see exactly where that is, but if I go a little bit to the right and a little bit up, that could very well be my solution. With B, going negative 1.7 would mean going left and down. My solution is definitely not over there, so I can mark out B. Now, I don't know for sure if A is right because I can't see exactly where that's crossing, so I'm going to go on and see if there's any more I can eliminate. So with C, second matrix math, B, into alpha zoom 2 by 3, into 7, 4, negative 8, 4, 7, negative 28, and we get 1.7, negative 4.97. Okay, so answer B was over here. C, we're going to go to the right and then go down. So C is not there. Let's try D. We think we're close with A, but we need to make sure we can mark out all the rest of them because we can't see exactly 1.7. So second matrix math B, enter. Alpha zoom 2 by 3, enter. And we have all positives this time. 7, 4, 8, 4, 7, 28. And we have the flipped solution of what we had on C. We have negative 1.7, positive 4.97. So that would mean we go to the left and up. So D is not correct, so A must be my answer. So again, that was a lot of work on the calculator, but a lot less work than solving all of them for Y and then still plugging it into the calculator. 74, we have the table representing some points on the graph of a linear function, and they ask us which of these represents the equation. So on this, all of my slopes are the same, so I can assume that my slope is 7. Otherwise, you could put this into stat edit to confirm that M is 7. But if none of your slopes are different, there's really no need for that. And again, your teacher should have told you to switch all the 18s and 3s. And so they've clearly used the point 18 and 3. Our point slope form. So y minus 18 would be 7x minus 3. And the only one that has both negatives is answer choice A. 75 wants us to rewrite this in standard form. Remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c, where x and y are on the same sides together. So first thing I'm going to do is move x to the same side as y. So I have 16x plus y equals 8. And then from here, I remember that I cannot have fractions, so I multiply everything by 6. 6 times 1, 6 is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. So 1x plus 6y equals 48. On the last page, we have a function y equals 20 plus 3 parentheses x minus 2 that can be used to determine the cost of having Chick-fil-A deliver sandwiches to an event. What is the rate of change of the cost in dollars with respect to the number of sandwiches? So our rate of change is always whatever is directly in front of x, so this one would be $3 per sandwich. 77 is asking us the graph of the linear function g is shown. What is the 0? Remember, the 0 is where it crosses the x-axis, so that would be the point 3, 0. If you were putting this on a griddable, you would just grid the number 3. 78 asks us for the value of x in the solution to the system of equations. So this one I'm going to put these into y equals on my calculator and use my calculator to determine where their intersection is. So to do that, I click y equals up in the top left, and I enter my two equations, negative 2x plus 2, and then x minus 4, and I click graph. I can see that they are crossing, so I click second, trace 5, enter, enter, enter. And my intersection is at 2, negative 2. So they tell me x equals 2, y equals negative 2. Now the question was asking for the value of x. X equals 2, so 2 is my answer. 79 asks us which equation models the graph of line L, and we have 4 different equations in standard form. So I'm going to work backwards to get to standard form. You could also solve all of these for y. So I start at negative 3. My slope goes up 3 to the right 4. So I originally had y equals 3/4 x minus 3. I'm going to move 3/4 x to the other side. Can't have fractions, so I'm going to multiply by 4. 3/4 times 4 is negative 3. 4 times y is 4y. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Now when I look, none of my x's start with a negative. Now I can mark out C and D because they don't have 3 with my x, but this is negative and all my answers are positive, so I need to divide out that negative 1. I divide every piece by a negative 1. So 3 becomes positive, 4 becomes negative, and negative 12 becomes positive. And that matches with answer choice A.